This is Caroline Pointer with ForYourFamilyStory.com here at RootsTech 2012, and I have with me David Rencher with FamilySearch.org.
Great to be here.
Great. This morning, Jay Verkler's keynote address was really phenomenal.
It was.
Loved it. And I loved especially when he talked about Emma in 2060, the student, with her interactive family history. I love that. And can you tell my viewers how Family Search plans to propel the genealogy industry from where it is currently to where Emma is in 2060 in the video?
Great question, because RootsTech is really about that. We could let technology kind of take its course, but RootsTech is all about getting the innovators in the same room with the genealogists and accelerating technology to solve the tough genealogical problems. And so think of RootsTech as an accelerant, that it's going to simply push us and propel us forward. When we're setting vision like that and saying this is where we need to get to, these are the pieces of this puzzle that need to come together in technology behind the scenes, that's what we're trying to solve, so that the archives understand we've got to have the metadata, the authority systems have got to be in place, the artifacts have to be able to be stitched together and viewed by others, transparent of independent domains. All of that's the vision of what we're trying to do. So when you say, what is Family Search trying to do? We're trying to get that vision out and then get the best minds on it and get solving the tough problems.
And what are Family Search's new initiatives?
Family Search's new initiatives right now all involve a family tree system, which will be released later this year to the public. The tree system allows everything, all of these apps and everything else, to suspend off of the family tree. Think about, for example, walking into a cemetery, identifying a known ancestor who's buried in that cemetery, and then being able to determine, because you have the pedigree system, how they're related to everybody else in the cemetery. Those are the kinds of things that you can have, and so they've invested heavily in the tree system, trying to have it as the fundamental foundation stone of everything else that's going to happen. The demo you saw from Jay this morning showed that vision and that future. The tree working underneath is what makes that possible.
Yeah, it was awesome. How does Family Search's incoming CEO, Dennis Brimhall's vision differ from the outgoing CEO's?
So, great question. Dennis has been on site now for just about a month, so we've had about 30 days. He's, I think, still creating vision. Right now the message is loud and clear, steady as she goes. We have our marching orders. We had a 2012 plan in place. We're continuing to do that. So we're executing on all of the things that have been part of that strategic vision over the last several years. But we have to organize around his strengths versus Jay's strengths. They have two completely different skill sets. But first and foremost, Dennis thinks of himself as a visionary, and so he will set a very clear vision of where we're headed and what we're going to accomplish. Also, just a very capable administrator. He uses a great illustration, which I like, which is since he was a hospital administrator, he wasn't qualified to do anybody's job. He couldn't do surgery, he couldn't do anesthesiology, he couldn't do pharmacy, so he relied on his people to get him there. Well, we have a very strong senior exec team. The technology guys, they know what they're doing. They've been working with Jay consistently now for a decade. They know where they're going with this product and what we're building. So, it probably sends shudders through the community, but I think we're in good hands.
Great. What technology advances is Family History Library looking to implement in the next 5 to 10 years?
Family History Library is really making some advances. One of the ones most recently released, of course, involves that whole support thing. So we tend to think sometimes separately about the Family History Library and the Family History Centers. There's a whole support mechanism there. The fact that you can now order film online and have it send it to a designated center is just incredible. The fact that we continue to grow our cadre of Family Search affiliates, so we leverage the genealogical collections in public libraries. Kurt Witcher at Allen County Public Library quipped to me that once they became an affiliate, they were now the largest genealogical facility in the world because they had all of their stuff and all of our stuff. Well, those are the kinds of things. Right now I know that they're focused on getting a number of the things that if you walk into the library, they have a family history desktop the computer system that you can use there has a phenomenal number of sites and everything available because that permission's been granted to the Family History Library. They're trying to get that available for the center. So they're working on some things and some initiatives there that are doing it. They're hugely focused on leveraging the information asset. Information really is the key to this whole thing, and you saw that in Jay's presentation this morning. The knowledge is what's really going to help us, and so they have done a fabulous job in the library of trying to gather the knowledge of what we know about records and content and availability and all of these aspects and get that information into that knowledge set. So that's really their push and their drive, is just to try and increase that.
And they're also, this morning was talking about, there's emphasis placed on it being open and
Yes.
fostering collaboration.
Yes.
And
Yeah, open really gives us an ability to share and to network. We are in a unique position being a nonprofit player, and I think the largest nonprofit player in the space. We see from our vantage point what's going on with the commercial partners. We want them to succeed. This is not a competition at all from our standpoint. We want them to be viable partners. We want them to take what they do it very well, make the experience at their site the differentiator in the service they provide. So as consumers, we go to different places because we like the experience there. I sometimes talk about a piece of chicken. There isn't much you can do to a piece of chicken, but we either go to Ruby Tuesdays, or we go to Applebee's, or we go to several other restaurants. It's because we like the experience.
Right.
It's convenient parking, we like the staff, we like how we're greeted, we like whether or not the air conditioning blows on us.
Right.
All these things we choose. Well, that's the way it is in the genealogy market. If many of them have the same data, and then we can interoperability between the data, it's going to be about the experience. I prefer this site because I like the experience there.
Yeah, and also for any type of technology or internet user, navigation and all the little things, design and all that, that's what you're talking about, is the atmosphere.
Absolutely.
And all that has to run perfectly, all those little details, because it just takes one thing and a user is gone.
Right.
So
can we get
important.
together? Can we share our authority systems? We've been building authority systems. Others have been building authorities. That thing that Jay talked about, having all of the different ways that you can spell Johnson grouped together. Those kinds of things. Well, there's a lot of information content out there. If we make that open, everybody wins.
Right, and being open is what in all other industries on the internet is all about. That's what they're
Absolutely.
doing. Is everything is open.
The
now.
rising generation expects information to be free.
Free.
Absolutely expects it, and so at some point they're going to be in charge, and I just think information is going to continue to move that direction. And then you can differentiate by how you package that information, and those are the kinds of things that you'll be able to charge for, and I think still have a very viable business in the community.
Well, thank you very much for giving me a little time.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.